Hello, my friends. I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley, and I'm coming to you from the second layer of the Wolf's Den. I hope it's a great Monday for you. After that victory against the Kansas Jayhawks, it should feel pretty good. Mountaineers are 2-1 in the Big 12 play and 3-1 overall. And yes, the Mountaineers sent the Kansas Jayhawks back to Rock Chalk, Lawrence, Kansas, man. Yeah, they sure did. And they did it in some impressive style, despite having some difficulties, which they overcame and poured it on in the end. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But first, I got to get these specials out to you because things are happening right now. This is Monday afternoon. So at Kegler Sports Bar and Grill, the specials tonight are Beat the Clock wings. Yeah. 3 to 6 is 50-cent wings. Dine in, this is. Then from 6 to 9, it is 60-cent wings, and 9 to close it. Yeah. It's 70-cent wings. But what do you got there? Well, you got Monday Night Football, but you got a game now starting beforehand. Yeah, my Buffalo Bills are going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I don't know if this might be bad luck because the last time I said this on here, the Bills took a beating by the Titans, man. So anyways, best of luck to my Bills tonight. I'm going to be watching them. I'm going to be eating some steak. I'm going to be eating some popcorn. Probably get a WolfMan burger down there at Kegler's, Sports Bar and Grill because, Kegler's also does have a wonderful New York strip steak. Really, really good. So that's the Beat the Clock tonight for wings. Go ahead, do it. Get some beers, get some whatever you want, any type of drink you have, and get the food, man, because you can't beat the food. It is award-winning food. The gold wings, man. Kegler's. Oh, you kidding me? One of my favorite is I like the hot buffalo, and then you get the side of special. And the side of special is some kind of garlic, some kind of just really amazing stuff. And, I get all worked up and sweaty and, my eyes are running and I'm just watching good football, man. And, that's what you can have at Kegler's tonight. So tonight, Monday night, Beat the Clock wings. Tomorrow, Tuesday, $2 tacos. I'll bet you didn't know this, but last week I went in there and I said, hey, Lindsay, give me some $2 tacos, please. And I'm going to eat 2 of them. She goes, well, if I know you, you can't eat 2 of them. I said, no, I'm going to eat 2 of them. I told Jerry I'd try it out and I know that they're going to be good, but they got beef, pork, and chicken tacos for $2, right? Well, I ordered 2, I ate 6. You go figure that one out. And then, of course, Wednesday night, you got the baby back ribs special. Oh, you can eat baby back ribs. Oh, you can eat baby back ribs. $10.90. Always say it, they lose money on me. And Thursday nights, 5 to 7, what do you got? You got the Neil Brown radio show from 6 to 8, where you get exclusive live feed from the Milan Pushkar Center with Tony Caridi and, of course, Coach Brown. And you can get half-price appetizers, 5 to 7. And you get the first beer on the Wolfman. What do you say? Well, you say, hey, this beer is on the Wolfman. Not this beer the Wolfman sent me. No, that won't get you. This beer is on the Wolfman. I think you're going to get it this week. Last week, we had a blast, man. We had a great time. And it's only one beer you get, but you get your first one for free. And you have an opportunity to what? Get on the air with Coach Brown if you have a good question. That's a football question, and you're nice to me, right? So go ahead. Come on out, the Kegler Sports Bar and Grill. 5 to 7 is half-price appetizers. 6 to 8 is the Coach Brown Show. Your first beer is on me, and you have a chance to get on the air to ask Coach Brown a question. And, what did I forget? You also get an opportunity to win great big raffle prizes, great big special cool stuff, official WVU gear. So go out and get that and come out, and you just might win it. It's just a raffle, man. You don't have to answer any trivia. You don't have to do anything else, but just win with the ticket. And then Friday, of course, it's half price from 3 to 6. Half price off of all alcohol. So that's your Keglers for the week. Sundays, NFL, you get $1 off the wing special. So it's all good. Great food at Keglers. I'm telling you, get the Wolfman burger, man. Try it out. Be a man. Be a Wolfman and get the Wolfman. Okay, so that's the Keglers. Again, I'm going to start off. This is the Wolfman Ramble. We're going to talk about the Kansas Jayhawks. Well, let's start off with the offense because I think that you got to say bad. Letty Brown, the baddest man in Motown, certainly on Saturday, right? Well, I'm really happy for Letty. He had 195 rushing yards. He had 2 total touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. He ran like a hard charging man. I tell you, he is getting better and better. He's exploding to the hole when he needs to explode to the hole. He's having the patience to wait when He needs to wait and let the offensive line develop the hole. And he also has the physicality that he's applying to the defense when he's running. So when they come in contact, he's not going down with some arm tackles, with your arms out here. No, he's running through them. He's doing stiff arms. He's knocking them down. He's doing the bad Letty Brown. Yeah. Now, I didn't know that was going to rhyme, but that just came out. So it sounded pretty good. But once again, let's look at this offensive line, because we all know that you have at left tackle, you have Brandon Yates, redshirt freshman. At left guard, you got Zach Frazier. Okay, those are two freshmen. Redshirt freshman Brandon Yates, true freshman Zach Frazier. Then you got senior Chase Barron at center. Then you got senior right guard Mike Brown, who is, let me tell you something, he is playing absolutely lights out football. I'm so proud of that young man. I like him so much. Right guard Mike Brown doing a great job. And then, of course, you had right tackle, you got John Hughes, who is stepping up each game by game and kind of owning that right tackle spot. So it's nice to see. And then you got the two tight ends with Michael Laughlin really coming to play, and TJ Banks, who's picking up his game in the blocking. He also had a reception there and doing a fine job as well. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I think that this offensive line, and that I'm going to include the tight ends, and I'm going to include the wide receivers as well, because I do think that in the perimeter, they are trying to get better. That's the wide receivers that are spread out, and they are trying to get better blocking downfield. And I think there's some cases that you can see when you go back over and look at that film. I certainly did, and I was very, very impressed. There's 18 carries for Letty Brown. Alex Sinkfeld had 14. You even got a chance to see the freshman Sparrow in there at the very end get a few carries. So that was also nice to see. But I want to talk to you about this offensive line and what they did with this defense. And they came out, and they had some negative plays. And a couple of times I saw from the left side, especially the true freshman, right, and the redshirt freshman, that they had a couple things. There was more communication, more working together. Remember now, when you're in the offensive line, you have 5 parts that need to work as one. That's right, 5 to 1. That's why it's so hard to get an offensive line that gels together. And then when you put in a true freshman and a redshirt freshman on one side, and they are having success despite having a setback every now and then, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I'm going to take that because I'm seeing some things. Now, I've been on the praise of Zach Frazier since I saw him at camp. I was like, man, this young man can play right away. And then now I see Brandon Yates, who's come through these first 4 games progressing, and I'm seeing more physicality out of him. I'm seeing him block longer, more towards the whistle, towards the end of the play, and he's continuing that. And I think there's something, there's a story going on that left side, and I think it's a journey. And I'm actually very, very excited about this journey, because what's the limit for these guys? They're working together now. Now, listen, when James Gamitter comes back, he's going to be back in his spot, but there's going to be some part in this line. This line is gelling together, and I like what I see. Gamitter can only make the offensive line better, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing for these 2 left guys, because you know what? They're just freshmen, man. They're out there. I mean, Brandon Yates, he's a redshirt freshman, right? So you say, oh, he's been in the program a year longer. Well, when you think about it, COVID came and they really didn't have summer workouts. They didn't have spring ball. So what's your big year when you're coming out of your true freshman year? You get that spring ball. Brandon Yates never got that spring ball. Zach Frazier sure as heck didn't. So you have 2 guys coming into camp basically like newbies. Now they're finding themselves working together in this situation. And I really like what Chase Barron has done at center, solidifying that spot thus far. And then, like I said, Mike Brown, man, he's found a way to put that big old keister of his and put it right into those defenders and do a fantastic job. And John Hughes is really picking it up. So I really like what I'm seeing. How do you do it? You sprung Letty Brown for 87-yard touchdown play. That was great. Now, when you look at that film, and I'm going to show you on the Wolf's Den on the Neil Brown television show, I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to show you the end zone shot, and you're going to see Chase Barron and Mike Brown and John Hughes go ahead and do exactly what they need to do. Now, they were going zero coverage, man. What did I tell you? Two things can happen in zero coverage, but that means that they're going man with no safety over the top. It is straight up man, and if you beat that man, off to the races. Bad Letty Brown, right? So when you watch that, and I'm going to show it to you, man, look at that, what they do. Mike Brown is the key to that. And so is everybody else who's blocking. They do a great job and holding off their man. And that's why you have 11 football players doing what they're supposed to do. And guess what happens? You pop it. Because two things can happen, good or bad. Either way, either they're going to get you for a loss because they're bringing everybody blitzing, going zero coverage blitzing, or you're going to pop it just like Letty Brown did and score a touchdown. We've seen it before. We've seen it before with Noel Devine and certainly other great ball carriers for the Mountaineers in the past. But that was special to see, and I couldn't be happier for the young man. Now, Letty Brown, he had 5 receptions for like 36 yards, and he had a touchdown reception again. He just keeps piling up those touchdowns. So you got to be happy for him. I think he has 7 total touchdowns right now. You got to be proud for him. 5 rushing, I believe 2 passing. So he's leading the Mountaineers, of course, in touchdown points with 42. So I was just really impressed with him. Alex Stinkfeld got off to more of a rough start, but I'm going to apply that more to the offensive line, not having their mojo together because the Jayhawks presented a different front than them practicing. And again, is what I really liked out of that whole thing. I mentioned this in the post game. They're on MSN Sports and from Learfield IMG College, our post game radio show. And I said, what happened there? They came out and they were stuffing us, and they're actually getting some hits on Jared Deggy as well. So the coaches, assistant head coach and offensive line coach Matt Moore, he had Coach Brown. He had Jared Parker, the offensive coordinator, said, hey, listen, we need to figure this out. Well, we got 2 freshmen over here, and now that we've been practicing one thing, and now they're bringing out another and basically surprising these young fellas. So what I really enjoyed was making the change on the go, on the fly, whatever you want to call it. They made the change, and by the second quarter rolled around, they were rolling, and they were ready to go. And here's the thing. It's one thing to be able to see that you need to make a change. It's one thing to be able to say, okay, this is what we got to do to correct this change. And then there's one thing to say, okay, now to the football players, you need to understand so you can do this change and apply it. So again, it's got to be seen, identified. It's got to be corrected. What will work against this? And then we got to translate that so they understand it, so they can go out and apply it. Wow. You know what? That's a great thing to see from a coaching staff, and it's really a better thing to see out of an offensive line. Well, it's very good, very good. And I really enjoyed watching it because I see a physicality in this offensive line. You don't think they don't like to run the ball anymore? Oh, they do. They do. And the really cool thing is I see everybody's getting a little bit of an attitude. It's a run attitude. This is only the 4th game of the season, but there's only 10. So we're 40% of the way through the season. And I see improvement. We keep talking about trust the climb. Well, this is part of the process of trusting the climb and seeing them rush for 227 yards, even though they are playing 2 freshmen. If you really understood that, maybe you don't know, but that is absolutely crazy. I played as a redshirt freshman. I started some games as a redshirt freshman. I had one heck of a time, man. It was tough. Now I played, I battled, I competed. Yeah, great. No, but what I see these 2 doing, the left side, they're not afraid of nobody, man. They're out there saying, hey, let's go. Let's play ball, man. I see him, and I see him doing a really nice job. And then you look at it, there's only 1 sack, although Jared Deggy did take some hits by middle of the game. Again, the offensive line seemed to have it worked out, and the running backs as well. And and Jared has got to do things too as a quarterback to make things easier on himself as well. But we did have some big plays. That Coach Brown said that we need to really work on some big plays. Obviously, Letty Brown's 87-yard run is a big play, but let's go to Bryce Ford Wheaton. He had 5 receptions. He and Letty had the most receptions in the game with 5 each. And Bryce Ford Wheaton had 89 yards. His longest was the 33-yard touchdown. And I'm starting to see with Bryce Ford, I really liked what he did. He was able to score the touchdown, a couple of his catches. He got some yards after catch. He caught the ball. He didn't fall down as the youngsters do. He caught it, turned around, and got some more yards. I enjoyed that very much. I liked what I saw from that group. I think the drop passes, we got to figure out a way to get that settled. I mean, there's just way too many drop passes. And I feel bad for TJ Simmons because, man, he got lit up, and that was a bit of some head hunting going on there. And I hope he's okay. This is Monday, so I'm not sure. But with TJ Simmons, man, we need him. So get better, TJ, whenever you get back. If it's this week or the week after, whatever it may be, get better, young man, because the Mountaineers need you. And I'm going to say this, too, as well. I think that the receivers can show a mass of potential. Now, I hate talking about potential. Well, potential? No, I want to see results, right? Yeah, I'm like you. I'm like everybody else. I want to see results. But I think, when you look at OC wide receiver coach, Parker, and then you look at Travis Trick with the tight ends and the slots coaching, there's a lot going on there. And I'm telling Mountaineer Nation right now, you guys, hang in there, man, because the good things are going to come from this group. And I think I'm starting to see it. Jared Deggy, 318 yards passing, 59% completion percentage. Not his best day completion percentage wise, but best day for passing. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Not too shabby. And, I think he did some things there that once he got time. So here's the thing, too, is when you feel like you're being hit all the time as a quarterback, and maybe that's your feeling, you're getting hit all the time, and you're like, just dang, man, this hurts. And so you get that inner clock in you as a quarterback, and you drop back and you're going 1, 2, 3, throw it. Well, maybe it's too soon because you're afraid that you're going to get hit. And as soon as that got settled in him, I think you started to see him use his feet, use his arm work, his mechanics, and doing a really, really nice job. I mean, I love the throw to Bryce Ford Wheaton and that 33-yard touchdown. That was just pure beauty. I love what they did to Sam James on the second to last touchdown when the Jayhawks were in that zero coverage again. It was in the red zone, and they go ahead and they motioned Sam James to the backfield, and then he stopped and went back. Well, and they snapped the ball and they threw it to him, and O'Loughlin went out there and cut off the 2 DBs. Well, the cool thing about that is you go back and look at the film, and I'm going to probably show that in the Wolf's Den on the TV show. So when it goes back, you'll see that the defensive back was following because he was in man coverage, zero coverage. Man, they're bringing it all, right? So he goes out there. He actually went farther than Sam James did in Sam James' motion. So he went farther trying to get ahead of him. Well, he brought it back. Great play calling, great play design, and it's a touchdown. So red zone touchdowns. What is the difference between this 2020 team and the 2019 team? Because we say, boy, they were playing well at the end. Won 2 of their last 3 games, competitive against Baylor when they were last year in the Big 12 championship game, really pouring it on. Well, I think what you see here is that they can run the ball better, obviously, right? So they can run the ball better, and they're doing a good job passing the ball as well, because the run game goes ahead and helps the passing game. And at times, vice versa, the passing game can help the run game. But you got to have one clicking so that the other one can get a shot. But when you look at that in the red zone, okay, I had a tweet I put out today, and I thought it was just totally amazing, and no one gave a dang. Nobody gave a dang, but that's the way it goes, right? But I do, because I think our red zone offense and our red zone defense, but I'm going to get to the offense here first. 2019, the offensive red zone, our Mountaineers had 34 opportunities in the red zone. Now, they scored 25 of those opportunities. The total 20. So total 34 opportunities in the red zone, came out with points, 25% of that, or I mean 25 times out of that for 73%. That also includes field goals in that as well as touchdowns. But here's the real stat that matters. You go 25 to 34 total points. You go, how many touchdowns did you score? Well, you only scored 16 of 34. That's 47%. 16 touchdowns out of 34 opportunities. That's not good by anybody's standards. Anybody's. So the offense knew that they needed to do what? They needed to be able to score in the red zone. Well, when you look at that and you're seeing that you've increased, this time is right now out of 40 games, they have been in the red zone 18 times. They've scored 17 of those. So that means that there are 94% scoring chances or scoring points out of the 3-point field goal or touchdown. So that's 94%. 17 out of 18 times they went in the red zone and came out with points. Here's the great stat, right? I said it's about the touchdowns. 14 of those 18 times they scored a touchdown. 14. That's 78%. Last year it was 47%. Now it's 78%. Think there's a difference? That's a big, big difference. How many times you hear last year, or even a little bit this year, against Oklahoma State, it's like, well, we moved up and down the field, but when it got time for the red zone, couldn't punch it in. Settle for the field goal. Well, this year they're making improvements. Again, I am not saying the Mountaineers are there. I am saying these are signs of improvement. When you're trusting the climb and you're getting higher and higher, and it's getting farther and farther down, and you're like, man, I got to really trust the climb. I got to trust that this is going to hold. Well, what I'm showing you is the foundation of what's giving you the strength to go ahead and to trust the climb, and that's what's holding. Well, 17 out of 18 scoring, 18 times scoring, and then 14 out of 18 with touchdowns. That's giving you to sit there and say, hey, I can buy into this. I can trust the climb. All right, so that's what I'm talking about right there. So the offense, good job. Bad Letty Brown. Offensive line, you know, I'm amazed at the two freshmen on the left side competing the way they do. Even when they screw up, they seem to be a little bit faceless. It doesn't bother them. It was pretty cool. But I'm going to get out some film for you this week in the Wolf's Den Extra and on the social media sites. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the offensive line blocking, give you a little bit of insights into that as well. Show you, but you're going to have to watch the Wolf's Den on the Neil Brown Show to see how that blocking happened with the Letty Brown touchdown, that great big run. All right, so I guess now we'll just go to special teams. I want to talk to you a little bit about that as well. I know they gave up the kickoff at the end to Puka Williams. You know, what can I say? A couple missed tackles. He ran through some arm tackles. You know, he's top in the nation at all-purpose yards. He's there every year. You know, he's rushed over for 2,300 yards. We all know Puka magic, everything they say. Well, I thought the Bounders did a really good job, but again, letting that touchdown return, it can't happen. So, you know, Coach Brown's got to fix that. That makes two of them thus far in the season. Only one is counted because the other one was called back for a penalty against EKU. But again, as you know, that they are not happy, despite whether there are substitutions in there towards the end of the game or not. You are expected to go in there if you are in and play to Mountaineer standards. And obviously allowing him to return that kickoff was not. But I want to point out a play to you. And again, this is going to be on the Wolf's Den because I just find it so fascinating. I really believe that with Neil Brown, that he is an offensive great coach, knows how to be a head coach, knows how to be a head coach for the defense, knows how to clock management, knows how to read a game. Guy has all the stats you could ever think of and the opportunities and anything. I can give you example after example, just like against Baylor when he went for 4th and 1, because the odds are if you go for 3 points in overtime, you lose the game. Well, he went with the 4th and 1 to go so he could score a touchdown, and eventually did. So, I mean, he has all his fingers on the pulse of this team. He knows how to build a team. He knows how to win games, but he really knows how special teams as well. And when you saw Winston Wright Jr., this is a sophomore receiver. Last year he returned a kickoff return all the way back for a touchdown against Baylor. He takes his special teams seriously. And the fact is that the majority of the team takes their special teams very, very serious. But what that means is that you can do things in special teams, field position, win the field position by special teams, flipping the field, punting, okay, kicking, whatever it is, the coverage, getting yards on the punt return, getting yards on the kickoff return. Besides, you see that Alex Seafeld was getting more yards in the punt return, which is great because they focused on that. So they actually focused on something, prepared for it, and then they went out and succeeded to a degree in what they're trying to do. See, I like that. That's building blocks, right? Trusting the climb, right? Okay, good. So when he saw Winston Wright Jr. down the ball at the 1 yard line from the punt, I'll tell you, I haven't seen that done very, very often in Mountaineer Field. At Mountaineer Field. I really haven't. I was really impressed. I'm sure we've knocked some balls out inside the 10 yard line, but he was down there waiting. So they did the hang time, punting the ball, man. And he was down there, and he was great effort by him to get by. The cornerback was trying to do the man on him, but he ran right on by him. And he got down there and he's waiting. Now the ball had a great bounce. Everything worked out to the 1 yard line. But what would happen if Winston Wright Jr. didn't bust his hump to get down there? It means that he's taking special teams seriously. He's a wide receiver, and he's down there at the 1 yard line, making a ball. So that offense has to start out from the 1 yard line. What does that mean? Well, hopefully, if you can stop them from getting a first down, what that does is they got to punt, and then your team, the Mountaineers in this case, will be hopefully on the 50 or more on their side of the field. That's called field position change, flopping the field. Well, getting them down to the 1 yard line and hopefully backing them up so they get no first downs, that is field position, and that's winning. That's winning special teams. So winning on offense, they won. Winning on special teams, except for the kickoff return at the very end, I believe they won. And then when you go ahead and you look at the defense, I don't know what to tell you about the defense, man. They're playing lights out. They came out today with the #1 defense so far, less in the country, and really happy for them. Here's what I love. I love how they're playing, how they're swarming. I see them growing in confidence week by week. You have the defensive line, you have the linebackers, and then you got the secondary. And I see them improving week to week in communication. I think they're having a lot of fun out there. I mean, I think now that they got 6 interceptions, Darius Stills. Did I ever tell you about the time that he used to come over to my house with my son and they hung out? And I'd be like, man, I'll tell you, this is going to be great seeing this guy play. I didn't know how great he was going to be. I really didn't. But I'm watching him, and he's busting up the offensive line in the center. Now, if you have the center, you got the quarterback, whether he's in gun and the pistol formation with the running back behind him, gun is the running back's usually next to him, or if it's empty, whatever it is. But if you want to hand the ball off and run, especially if you're an inside zone team, and you got a defensive lineman interior, he's playing 3 technique, he's playing 1 technique. He's not even just a nose guard anymore. I've seen him doing a 4-eye technique. So he's out there, he's playing all types of positions on here. But what I like is they're moving him around so that nobody can sit there and double team him, that you can use his quickness, his explosion to get it going. And he's just playing at such an elite level. And even though he didn't come up, I think he had 3 tackles against Kansas. He had 1 TFL, but he caused the world of trouble for everybody else. And he let the Mountaineers rally around him and his disruption. Because when you go disrupting up the middle, what happens to the running game? Well, you got to sit here, you got to bounce around. And I'm actually going to send that out as well in the Wolf's Den extra by Little General Stores, because you have to see what he's doing. He's doing things that are making the other Mountaineers succeed. Why is this defense doing so well? Well, a big part of it right off the bat is that there's an anchor right in the middle of the defense, and he's causing penetration. And you're going to see Dante's brother benefit from it. You're going to see Akeem Mesidor benefit from it. You're going to see Jeffrey Puller, who had 2 sacks. Jeffrey, so proud of that young man. That senior, he's playing lights out right now. I see him hustling all over the place, and then you got Jerry Bartlett, the freshman bandit, and you got Tonk in there playing bandit as well. Then you move up to the backers. You got Tony Fields, who's just sideline to sideline, sideline, sideline. Hey, who got Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week this week? Well, it was Josh Chandler Semedo. Say what? Yeah, it is 9 tackles. He also did something else pretty special. He was all over it. He was physical. And then let's take a look there at the DBs. I don't know what to tell you. Tyke Smith, I love watching him play. I mean, I'm not even, you got Sean Mahone, who's a terrific safety back there. And you got Alonzo Adai, who's just really come out of the gates, 2 interceptions already, right? Who's come out of the gates, and he's a big hit man, and he can get the defense fired up with his big hits. I'm enjoying every single level that's going on here. We got 2 corners that can cover. Nick Troy Fortune, he likes to get his nose in there. Jay Sean Miller likes to get his nose in there. And I do have one thing I have to admit. In the post game, I think I might even said it in halftime. I'm not sure. I haven't gone back and listened to it yet. But I said that the touchdown pass for the Jayhawks went off the hands of Alonzo Adai. Now, that was Nick Troy Fortune. Sorry, Nick Troy, I'm not trying to blow you in, man. But I did not realize, I thought that was Alonzo getting old. What can I tell you? So I apologize for that. But getting back to the defense and the swarming, Darius Stills is leading that defensive front up there. Hakeem Messidor, 2 sacks in a row. Let's ask John Antonik, our historian for the Mountaineers. When was the last time you saw a player get 2 sacks in a row? When's the last time you saw a true freshman get 2 sacks in a row? They really beat up that offensive line for the Jayhawks. They might still be feeling that. They might be in the ice tub or the hot tub trying to recuperate. Feel sorry for their next game because those guys are going to be sore next week. But getting back to this defense, Tony Fields, he's going to be in the NFL. This guy stopped by doing a little stop here at West Virginia, and he's really sideline to sideline. I think they're starting to gel the defensive line, the linebackers, and the secondary, because you have so much support in the run, the secondary, but you also have support with the linebackers for the secondary. I mean, Tony Fields, he's got an interception. What does he have? He has an interception, and he has a big PBU, pass breakup. I think Josh Chandler has a pass breakup. So the linebackers are doing well, but that's because the defensive line is penetrating so much. And then the secondary, I mean, they gave up what? Oh, is it 157 total yards, 95 yards passing, 62 net yards rushing, 27 yards to the Baylor Bears. It is truly cool to watch this team play. I like the offense is getting better. I think this offensive line is starting to come together more. Running back, obviously, Letty Brown is playing at the top of his game. Sinkfeld is a great 1-2 punch. I love how the tight ends are developing, and the receivers need to keep coming. I think Winston Wright Jr. is really having the breakout year that I think was supposed to have, in my opinion. And I think it's only going to get better for him. And I'm going to put Bryce Ford Wheaton in that as well, because I see a real maturity coming out of him. So that's exciting for me as well. Sam James, we just want to see him catch the ball. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of things going on. Let's just see what he can do here and keep going. I have a lot of faith in him. Defensively, they're just pursuing, disrupting, tackling well, except for the first drive. There's a 3rd down. They could have got him on the field. They missed the wide receiver, and that was my only disappointment in the entire game. But I guess I have to take that considering. Hey, by the way, do you know that they're number 1 in the country in red zone defense? I talked about red zone offense. What about red zone defense? And 3rd down, they were 29% going into the game, and they allowed, what is it? On 3rd down, I'm missing it. They're like 2 out of 16. 3rd down conversions, getting the Jayhawks out of the field. Jayhawks were 2 out of 13, meaning they converted twice out of 13 third downs. Now, that's pretty impressive for the defense. And let's talk about that red zone. They didn't even allow them a red zone opportunity. They had the fluke touchdown off the hands of Detroit. Fortune, not a die. And Detroit, I know he was kicking himself on that. And then, of course, a couple turnovers, but they really, in the kickoff return at the end. So the defense really stouted them. And I think they're just having a whole bunch of fun. When you can play like that and have fun and swarm and pursue, we are fast. Our players are fast. When you see Darius Stills make an interception like that, that's athletic. That's effort, man. I'm having a lot of fun with this. So that is the WolfMan Ramble. I hope you've enjoyed this here. Don't forget about Kegler Sports Bar tonight and the rest of the week. Thursday night is the Neil Brown Radio Show. Check out the Wolf's Den this week because we got some great breakdown of some video footage there, X's and O's. That's on TV. And then, of course, we have our pregame, halftime, postgame with Learfield IMG College and the Mountaineer Sports Network. And Tony and Jed will be down there traveling to Lubbock, Texas. I think Coach Wallace, myself, and Danny Zangrilli, we will be broadcasting from the stadium for pregame, halftime, and postgame. So we got it covered for you, man. Listen, with all the times that Coach Brown meets with Tony Caridi during the week, and the radio show, the television show, you guys, Zangrilli, you got the signal caller, Jed, you got myself. We are just delivering all kinds of information, and the Mountaineers easy to follow. Every single one of them are true professionals. I love what they do, and it's great to be their broadcast partner. So with that being said, Kegler Sports Bar and Grill, hey, you can't go any, well, most of you won't be going to Lubbock, if any. So go to Kegler's, man, get the best food, best wings, steak, WolfMan burger, wraps, whatever it is, man. They got it all, and they got great service. So let's go Mountaineers. I'll see you for the WolfMan breakdown. Saturday morning, I'll put that out. And again, watch out for some of the Little General Stores presents the Wolf's Den, the extra, which will be on social media, giving a little bit more X's and O's on the video part. So God bless Mountaineer Nation. Let's keep this rolling. 3-1 Mountaineers. Let's go beat the Red Raiders. Let's go Mountaineers. Boom!